Hi guys, welcome back to Sin City Living. This is Jason bringing you today's video. So I've run out of emails from you guys to film, but I did have an idea from some other conversations that I've had. It's kind of weird that I'm filming this on the craps table, but I want to talk to you guys about sports betting. I'm actually going to use the craps table to help explain how some of the bets in sports betting work. So the first thing that I want to cover that is fairly, I guess, not uncommon, but something that people, as they start betting sports, they start getting more and more introduced to, and that is parlays. Parlays. Now, I'm going to ignore the fact that technically 50-50 bets do not pay double; they actually pay slightly less, just for example purposes. Okay, so let's say that you want to do a two-bet parlay. Let's say for football coming up, you want to bet on the Falcons to cover the points, and then you also want to bet on the 49ers to 49ers over in the game, right? So you have two bets that are basically 50-50 bets. Okay, they pay slightly less than double, but they're basically 50-50. The Falcons to cover and the Niners to go over for the game, right? And you want to bet, I don't know, $50, right? You want to do a two-bet parlay, a two-teamer, right? We call that two-teamers. This is how it works, because parlays definitely confuse people quite a bit. You of course could just bet you could just bet a quarter on each one of them, right? So if the Falcons cover, boom, and if the Niners are over, boom. You'll have made a little bit less than $50 on your $50 bet. So you will get back a little bit less than $100, okay? But let's say you want to do a two-team parlay. Well, two-team parlay, if you did $50 on that bet, a two-team parlay is basically putting all $50 on the first one. So let's say the Falcons game is the first game. Now, they cover by points, so you get paid slightly less than $50, but we'll say you now have $100, right? That $100 now moves over to the 49ers game, and if they cover the over, you will get paid slightly less than double your bet. So you're slightly less than your bet. So your $50 bet now, you would get back a little bit less than $200 versus getting it a little bit less than $100. It would be basically the equivalent of, I'm trying to think of a good 50-50 bet here, be the equivalent of betting, say, the field, right, which is a one-roll bet. If it wins, you let it ride one more time. That would be a two-roll parlay. That would be a two-teamer, right? So if it won the second time, you would take your $200. Versus betting a quarter the first time, it wins. Then betting a quarter the second time, it wins. You've made $50 in profit. Versus betting your whole $50 the first time, it wins. And then the second time. The most I have ever hit, I have hit a 6-teamer. I have hit a 6-team parlay. I've hit 7 out of 8 on an 8-teamer. I have a friend that's hit a couple of 8-teamers and actually hit a 10-teamer once. It's an absolute miracle bet. He hit a 10-teamer. Pretty crazy. Now, what about how do the odds work on sports bets? Again, I'm going to use the table to show you guys. By the way, if you guys are sports bettors and you're outside of Vegas and they haven't set up the sports betting in your state yet because they're really trying to get all of that going, check the links down below. I found a really good casino that their sportsbook, an online casino, their sportsbook is awesome. The odds are right in line with with almost all of the Vegas casinos out there because they have their own bookmakers, so each one makes their own odds, but they're all pretty similar to each other. And this one, it's fantastic. Their odds are right in line with all the Vegas casinos. In fact, I just checked today for the Sunday's games, and the odds are all identical to the odds that I just looked at when I was at work. So really, really good. So again, check it out. Links down below. They have a link to some sign-up specials so you get some free money. First couple of bets can be free. And let's take a look. So the first thing is almost all 50-50 bets, like let's say the over-under on a football game or a baseball game, or covering by points, we'll say minus 110. Minus 110. And what does that mean? Well, minus 110 means that you would have to bet $100 or $110 to win $100. $110 to win $100. All right. Basically, that's the juice. That's the juice. That's the house edge. That's the percentage, because it's basically a 50-50 bet, right? Especially if it's a half. If the over-under is, say, 40.5 points, well, there's no way for them to score to combine for 40.5 points. So if it's 40, they're under. If it's 41, they're over. Every so often you come across a bet that is, say, 40 points, or say 8 points or something like that, 8 points on a plus minus. So it is possible to have a tie, to be neither over nor under. If there is a tie, the bet is just a wash. You will get your entire original bet back. You don't win, you don't lose. It's a wash. There won't even be any juice coming out of it. If you bet $110, you will get $110 back. Right? That's the reason why if you bet $100, you get paid a little bit less than $100 when you win, because it takes 110 to win 100. Right? You get paid $90-something, obviously. So that's the standard on the 50-50 bets. Now, what about bets like, say, the boxing match that was tonight, the Canelo fight? The odds were minus 500. Minus 500 for Canelo. That meant that you would have to bet $500 to win 100. Theoretically, that meant that his opponent, the odds were plus 500. Generally, very rarely do they even out exactly like that. If one's minus 500, one might be plus 450 or something like that. Again, that's where the juice is. It's a 50-50 bet in theory, so that's where the juice comes from. That's where the casinos make their money. All right. So if it's a plus, let's say it was plus 500. That would mean that if you bet $100, you would get paid 500. That means you would get $600 returned to you. Your original 100 plus your 500. So, what about points? Because there's two ways to bet on a game as far as the winner goes. So let's say you're betting. The World Series, and the teams are, I don't know, the Dodgers and the Yankees. All right, and you're betting on one game, and it's the line says the Dodgers plus 2.5. The Dodgers plus 2.5. Again, just to have a juice built in there, there's a good chance that the Yankees might be minus 2, not minus 2.5. That way there's a house edge built in there for the house, for the casino, but plus 2.5. What that means is that if the final score, the Dodgers score 5 and the Yankees score 7, well, the Dodgers are plus 2.5. I don't have a half. But I'll use, actually I do. So they're plus 2.5. That means that the Dodgers actually won as far as the point spread goes. Add that 2.5 in, now they beat the Yankees 7. That means if you bet on the Dodgers to cover the points, plus 2.5, you would win your bet. Now, what if you did what's called a money line? Well, if you did a money line on the Dodgers to win, you would lose, because money line is straight win or lose. There's no plus or minus involved in it. Straight win or lose. And it's just based off the score. So in this case, you would have lost. But a money line, because they were minus or plus 2.5, that would mean that they were that they were the underdogs. So if they won money line, there's a good chance that their odds, if they're plus 2.5, their odds might be plus 180, which would mean that if you'd have bet 100, you would have won 180 if you bet the money line. So there we go. That is some basic sports bet terminology and how it works. I'm not covering things like teasers and stuff like that. I'll cover those on another video. I hope this helps you guys, for those of you guys that are interested in sports. If you have any questions, email me. Be more than happy to answer those questions or film another video with better explanations for you guys. Otherwise, I hope you find it interesting, illuminating, enlightening, just plain fun. We'll catch you guys next time. Bye now. Thank you everybody for watching today's video, and as promised, a little bit more detail on things that we are working on. So again, we want to continue trying to expand the channel. We're really hoping to be able to add roulette as soon as possible, and then some video keno, video slots, stuff along those lines. Unfortunately, it ate up almost all of our cash, paying off all of our bills during the month of January while we were down. And now that the holidays have ended, YouTube's payouts have dropped significantly. So we're kind of treading water here as far as all that goes. Do have a lot of things we want to add, though. Not just those things, those additional games, and hopefully some carnival games and such like that. But the live streams. The biggest problem right now with the live streams is with 3 jobs combined between the 2 of us, 4 if I include the 20 to 30 hours a week I'm putting into the YouTube channel. It's very, very difficult for me to have a day and time that I can commit to doing the live stream every single week, because we also have our very young child to take care of. But I'm trying to figure that out. I'm thinking it's probably going to end up being on Monday nights or Tuesday afternoons, or possibly both. I intend to do at least one live stream exclusively for our patrons, and then another one on the YouTube channel. So possibly both days. We also have a few other things that we really want to attempt to move forward on. I'm just running into either time or skill set issues. I do want to eventually have a website going for us. I did used to program websites over a decade ago. A lot of things have changed, and I just don't have that time. And not a whole lot of knowledge on the current state of building websites, hosting what sites can host, and how to build up the e-commerce stuff. So if anybody has any skill sets along those lines and would like to answer some questions or just help us out, shoot us an email, sincitylivingLV@gmail.com. Also, I really hope to be able to start adding some exclusive stuff from Sin City Living, logoed shirts, hats. I'm looking to get custom dice made, even custom layouts made, although those would be pretty expensive. But I know zero about e-commerce and drop shipping and anything along those lines. So if you have any skill or knowledge in that area, please email me. I would love to ask you some questions and see if you can answer a few to help me figure out how to get that going. Same thing with designing our logos. I had some logos designed, very, very small logos, unfortunately, not big enough to blow up to put on t-shirts and stuff like that. And again, I know I know nothing about logo design, graphic design, any kind of websites that could do it. I literally know nothing. So if you have any skill or knowledge in that area also, please email me, and you're willing to answer some questions, please email me and let me know. I'll admit I don't even know where to start as far as asking some questions, but I'm sure I'll ask a few, and that'll trigger a few more, so on and so forth. So yeah, there's that, and of course we do hope to continue to improve our AV setup, but I am an AV moron, so also right there, if you have any skill sets or knowledge in that area, please email me, and are willing to answer some questions. Please email me and let me know. We would love to help. Otherwise, again, thank you everybody for watching, and we're very excited to continue bringing you our videos. Bye now.